Ready for the video?
Yeah, let's do it. I would love to take this course. We're the most comfortable humans have ever been.
You can just tell
I've
it's so
always been
calm.
one of those people with so much energy.
I love it.
What do you think?
Produced by this larger gadget. This is the gadget, isn't it?
For me, I had gone through a heartbreak, which we've all experienced. This was probably
Then after doing this course, which I have done, yeah, and so now that the rings are off, I wonder what's gonna happen.
boom, 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 watch out.
Present practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
Jen.
And today, we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
Inner Engineering, a meditation course proven to transform your life.
My name is Vish, and I'm an aspiring yogi, love all things meditation, wisdom, and yoga based. And today I'm super grateful to have Jen on the show. She's a really cool dance instructor, has a lot of wisdom too. Introduce yourself.
My name is Jen. I am based here in Austin, Texas, and I'm a dance instructor.
Thanks for being here, Jen. And have you heard of Sadhguru before?
I have.
Okay, how do you know him?
From you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we've done a few videos. And what's your quick take on him so far?
I mean, he's full of wisdom.
Inner engineering, have you heard about that course before?
No, I have not.
What does inner engineering, those two words mean to you?
It makes me think of inner work, which I then think of like meditation.
With that,
Let's do it.
Right now I hear there's only one phone in the United States, is the iPhone. It's a good phone, but what we are forgetting is the eye. The iPhone is all right, but the eye is the most important thing.
Forgetting
iPhone
the eye.
is just a little gadget
What do you
produced
think?
by this larger gadget. This is the gadget, isn't it? All the other
Yes.
gadgets have been produced by this gadget. If you pay little attention to this one, if the necessary understanding and awareness and ability to transform this gadget happens within you, your ability to live will be greatly enhanced. Then outside technologies are not a barrier. Outside technologies are a boon that's been offered to us. But the boons that have been offered to us are turning into curses in people's lives simply because they have not taken care of this one. They're only trying to take care of the external situation. We have done a lot of engineering in the world outside, and because of this, we have a huge level of comfort and convenience in the world today. The kind of comfort and convenience that no other generation of
I
people
agree.
could have
Do you?
ever imagined.
We're the most
That level of
comfortable
comfort and
humans have
convenience
ever
we
been,
have.
ever.
definitely.
Though we have this, though we are the most comfortable generation ever on the planet, we cannot claim that we are the most peaceful generation. We cannot claim we are the most joyful or loving generation on the planet for sure. So in many ways, this generation is becoming the most neurotic generation or most complaining generation because we have taken care of the outside, but we have not taken care of the inside. The world is engineered the way we want it.
Very
But
true.
are we engineered the way we want ourselves to be? So there is a certain way to engineer our system, to make this body, to make this mind, to vary chemistry within us the way we want it. If our wish to be is to be blissful, to make the world blissful, it would take too many things. But to make this one person blissful, a willing person, somebody who wants to be blissful, it shouldn't be difficult at all. But this has not been done because people have never paid attention to the mechanics of how a human being functions and to engineer that the way we want it. So these are technologies for inner well-being. Everybody wants health, peace, blissfulness, but these are simple things. Why these things are not happening is we have never paid attention to the inner mechanism of what a human being is.
Attention is like the big word
To
he's
pay attention to
emphasizing.
that and to create it the way we want it. This is inner engineering.
There's significantly more ease in the way I live my life today than I did before. I still have the exact same stressors, the same difficult patients, the same hectic schedule, the same emergencies that require working late into the night. However, I do them with far more joy than I've ever done. In fact, my efficiency at work is far greater now than it has ever been. and my stress level is lower than it's ever
His
been.
voice too, you can just tell
I've
it's so
always been
calm.
one of those people with so much energy, and I've always had lots of trouble sitting still. My parents didn't know what to do. They put me in track, and I ran so I could run it out. But always, whenever I would just sit, it would be no more than a couple minutes. So after I took inner engineering, I've been able to really be much calmer and be more content within myself and be able just to be wherever I am and not be thinking, I need to do this, I need to run around and do this.
I lost 40 pounds. My cholesterol went from 210 to
Wow.
149, and my blood pressure is a lot lower, and my
That's a
lifelong
transformation.
allergies
Not
have completely
surprised.
disappeared.
Inner engineering gave me the gift of the moment. That joy is there now. There is a sense of appreciation in very small things.
We will teach a certain process which is known as the Shambhavi.
Wow, so a lot of cool testimonials from this program. So now that you have some more insight about inner engineering, what are your thoughts?
It's powerful. And it's what I've experienced in practicing meditation on a regular basis. We have so many distractions nowadays, and we're always thinking about what we need to do in the future or, the past, but it's really hard to stay present when there's just so much going on. And you lose joy when you can't stay in the present moment. So I really resonated with what the last person just said too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And it's really cool, as we had just connected over, the doctor initially just seemed so calm, and think about how stressful of a job it is. So I could definitely see, and it goes back to the experiential, right? It's all about the experience and how are you feeling, and you said you've also experienced benefits from meditation in general?
Absolutely, yes. It's helped with my stress levels. I used to be an extremely anxious and stressed out person, and it started to affect my weight. I was incredibly underweight, actually, because I was so stressed out. Yeah, and I'm far more energized and just happy with being.
Well, thanks for sharing, Jen, and with that,
Let's get back to it.
Mahamudra. This is a way of activating your energies in such a way that the very fundamental chemistry in your body will alter itself within a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. One can even measure this in the laboratories. Such experiments have been done. How the blood chemistry changes within 3 weeks of practice has been recorded, and you can make your chemistry a chemistry of blissfulness. Once your system comes to absolute ease, there will be no disease. What is being taught is a scientific process.
No
Step by
disease.
step it will be taught. We need 28 hours to impart this, 28 to 30 hours of focused time. So it takes that much time to practically and experientially impart this. One aspect of the program is to bring a deeper understanding to their own system, to their physical system, to their energy system, to their chemistry, to their emotional aspects of them, and also the psychological structures. Once they understand few basics, then we teach methods with which they can make these dimensions within themselves in a conscious manner.
It was a wonderful experience. I'm a physician and I can't tell you how much it's going to help me with my stress, and also I'm going to incorporate in my practice too.
It was beyond my words.
That is the most important and most needed element in here for the human being.
I think this is one of the best things that has happened to me. Like, I meditate, but so I was expecting a few things from this course, but whatever I got was way better and way bigger than what I had expected. So I think it has changed my life in a fundamental way.
Beautiful. It was excellent. I love it. Yeah, it's very inspiring.
It does not demand any lifestyle changes, it just takes only 21 minutes of your day. If you're willing to dedicate 21 minutes of your day to this simple process, it has been life-transforming for millions of people. This is not a religion, this is not some kind of a teaching, this is not a philosophy, this is a technology. One has to just learn how to use it. Like how you learn to use your iPhone, similarly you learn to use this eye to its optimum level.
love this analogy. What do you think?
I love it.
Isha Foundation is a 100% volunteer organization. The volunteers are taking it to the people because it's made such a big difference in their life and they want to share it. their dedication, their time, their life is being given to make this happen to many other people. And this is my wish and my blessing, that every human being, we do not know what you will achieve in the outside world or not, but this much every human being deserves, that his experience of life on this planet is a pleasant experience. This much everybody is able to do, if only if they turn inward. These simple tools will help people to bring themselves to a new level of balance and pleasantness within themselves. This is something every human being deserves.
I would love to take this course.
Really? Okay, so let's get into this video then. Would you say your view on inner engineering has changed after obviously not knowing what that was initially to what he discussed? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I thought it was interesting. One woman said that she had meditated in the past and she got so much more out of it than what she had initially expected. So I thought that was powerful.
Well, thanks for sharing that point. I think I actually personally connected with that too. Yeah. I've been meditating for over 4 years now, and I started off with just, guided meditation apps, whether it's Headspace. Shouts to Headspace, love Headspace. Have you ever tried Headspace?
I haven't actually.
It's like a really cool guided meditation app. Would definitely recommend it to y'all who are trying to get into it. It's really, I guess what, it connects me with is like, imagine trying to learn how to ride a bike. It gives you the training wheels and then you slowly take that off. So it's a great start and a great introduction. And yeah, I would do that, just watch the videos, and definitely have gotten the effects. But then after doing this course, which I have done, and so I do it actually every day now, and it's powerful for sure. Before I get into, I guess, my experience with that, I want to hear your view on what does meditation mean?
Going inward, being present, being still. Going inward, being present, practicing stillness. I don't know.
Those are great, I guess, ways of looking at it. And so Sadhguru talks about this actually himself, and it's the idea that meditation has no actual real definition in the English language, because again, it does come from, the eastern part of the world. So again, there's a good and bad thing associated with that, right? One being that meditation has almost become overused, meaning it's being used to describe things that aren't maybe meditations. And again, it's not the idea that, and this is how at least I interpret it, right? It's not to say that, we care that you're using the term and you're appropriating it. Like, I don't care about appropriation, at least from our side or my personal view. I think Sadhguru doesn't care either. It's just about, are you doing something which could harm you, right? And if you're doing something that could harm you, then you should not do it, right? So that's why with meditations, even, at least from what I've experienced, actually before I get into that, what are your experiences with meditation? I want to hear more about that. Which kinds? How long have you been doing it? Let's hear it.
I've been meditating for like 2 years now.
That's great.
Yeah, I started by finding some on Spotify and then talking to friends about different techniques that worked for them. And I had a friend that had studied meditation a little bit, and she would do guided meditations with me. And then from there, I kind of...
Do you recall what kind?
They were we were doing a lot of visualization. So, I mean, for me, I had gone through a heartbreak, which we've all experienced. This was probably the most difficult one for me, and so she focused a lot on helping me visualize my heart opening, having a light shine outwards, and I did that every day for probably a year, and it really helped me. I just feel so much more gratitude and compassion for everyone I interact with, for the heartbreak itself, for just everything that happens in life,
That's awesome to hear. I appreciate you sharing. That's helped you so much. Also appreciate the transparency with your experiences. I think that's a superpower, as I've mentioned before. And I guess connecting that to my experiences. So I've done plenty of guided meditation apps, videos, and attended sessions. And again, I wouldn't say that these are wrong per se, but at least from my experience, I think a lot of these meditations were very mind-focused, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning, that's great, right? So obviously the mind is, a deeper level than the body, so it helped really clear and cleanse the mind, which is absolutely a great thing. Mm-hmm. But what this program does, and I guess what it does is, at least as Sadhguru describes it, there's the body, there's the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the energy bodies. And they're all the different parts that make you up. In fact, there's actually 2 more bodies. It's a bit more out there, it might sound woo-woo, but it's called the bliss body and the etheric bodies. And the whole idea is that, again, have I experienced this? I don't know, so I'm not gonna say this is definitely the way it is, but what I've heard and what he says. Essentially, you are more than just your physical, is the point, right? And there are like 5 layers. I think the first 3 layers, or the first 4 layers, in fact, physical, mental, emotional, and energy are all physical. The etheric and bliss are non-physical dimensions to you. Anyways, the point of that is this specific practice, which is called engineering, helps to essentially reorganize your energies. And essentially, I'm sure you've heard of chakras and all these different terms. When you do these practices, essentially by reorganizing your energies, what will in turn happen is that your emotions, mental and physical, naturally gets aligned. So instead of tapping into the mental, which is what I think most of us have experienced with meditation, which is still great, it goes into a deeper root, and that in turn fixes everything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I can definitely say, I mean, I've definitely experienced quite a tremendous amount of benefit with this program. And as he says, it's just 21 minutes. What are your first thoughts on, I guess, what I've shared, as well as, you know, that time? Do you think it's a lot for the average, or let's say newcomer to meditation, or what's going through your mind?
I think starting off, that would kind of maybe freak some people out. 21 minutes seems like a long time, but for me, in my experience, I would start out 5 minutes at a time, then work up to 10, then work up to 20. And then I got to a point where I was like wanting to meditate for like 45 minutes a day. I'm now back to like 15, 20 minutes a day, but it's like a muscle that you flex.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Anything, right? Whether it's meditation, working out, school, consistency and just constant effort is going to be super helpful. And I guess from what I've shared so far, did you have any questions about my experiences or this program? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super curious, like, how is it different from a meditation that's focused more so on the mind and like clearing your head? I do think a lot of people, and myself as well, like think of meditation as a way to just kind of like clear my head and help relieve stress. So how is that different?
Yeah, so it's actually a great point that you bring up and a great question. So Sadhguru actually answers this too, and he brings up the point of how there's no exact definition for meditation in the English language. In fact, he actually says this. If you were to see someone, let's just say sitting cross-legged, straight and erect, you would think they're meditating, right? But according to him, they could be meditating, they could be dreaming, they could be maybe mastering the art of sleeping in that position, they could be thinking, they could be brainstorming, they could be fantasizing. There's so many things that they could be doing. So the point is that just because you close your eyes doesn't mean that you're meditating, is the point. Now, what this entails, I guess, without getting into too much detail, because this is the procedure they've followed and he kind of has guided for in this type of practice. It's relatively a secret, meaning it isn't like anyone can join and anyone can do this program, but it's not openly available to the public for free because, again, of that concern that it can get packaged again and reformed, and then it just could cause more harm than good. So without getting into too much detail, it really just entails, it's actually a really interesting, I would say, process. And the reason why I've actually talked to other people too who have done other practices and why this just fits more, it's essentially a more full practice, which means that it includes breath work, it includes yoga, like physical yoga, it includes chants, and it includes just like what you think as like meditation. So it actually includes all of these 4 components. Again, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it includes all of that and what might come off as, let me actually get your thoughts on this. So it's not just that, right? So he actually says this, if I were to show you what I've done, right, it apparently wouldn't work. Because, again, this is where it's a bit more beyond the mind. Again, I myself still don't understand it, but it's just something you kind of trust. It's apparently something that only can be, and that's why it's called initiation into the practice, where he will basically personally initiate you into the practice. What does that mean to you from what I'm sharing so far? Ask any questions. Feel free to, shout out anything. Making sense?
Think about that. So you have to be initiated first into the program. I mean, I understand.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, I kind of think of it as like telephone. Like when you're like playing the game of telephone, the information like changes as it gets passed around. So maybe that's the intention behind it. I don't know.
Yeah, so again, the key point I want to emphasize that it's open to anyone, again, the initiation too.
Right.
It's really just, I guess you can view it as, it's a deeper thing than just a teaching, as he says. It's not a teaching, right? It's not a philosophy, it's not a religion. It's like a special, as he describes it as an analogy, it's a seed that he puts within you. And now the seed, that's the initiation, so he gives you that seed. And when he does that, when the seed's put into you, just because the seed is put onto the ground, it doesn't mean that it's going to grow well, right? That's where you have to give it the right water, give it the right nurturing, and that's why you do the practice, which is that 21-minute practice every day, and so on. Anyways, and that was a lot of information. What's going through your mind? More questions than answers, or what are you thinking in terms of what I've shared?
I don't know. I'm very intrigued. And
That's a good word.
Beautiful. And I mean, I like the idea of combining breath work, movement, yoga, the mind meditating.
Yes.
And what was the other one?
So chanting.
And chanting. Yeah. I've done those all separately. The idea of doing that all in 21 minutes sounds like it would be incredibly powerful.
Exactly. And that's what this is basically. So yeah, something that you would maybe consider down the lane?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Jen, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for sharing your wisdom, your insight, and your also cool experience with meditation. What's your recommendation? I mean, obviously it's something you said that you might try out, but maybe for those that are new to meditation, what's your advice?
Again, start small, start 5 to 10 minutes a day. Guided meditations definitely help if you're new to this. You can find those on like Spotify or Headspace. I think I've heard good things about Headspace. And be consistent. Keep going. Just be consistent.
Great advice. I agree with her 100%. I also would definitely highly endorse that program in engineering. But I also would agree that maybe starting a bit small, because even me, I mean, if I were to jump into that, it's very deep and it's, a serious practice. So maybe start with something simple, right? A few minutes of just breath work on your own, a few minutes of a guided meditation. And then once you get more and more consistent with it, then incorporating this more serious practice. Yeah, I think it's something we should all do eventually, but at least start small. And that's how I started too. But again, thank you so much, Jen. Remind the viewers about where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Jen Veltri, and I teach a dance class every Saturday in Austin at Antone's Nightclub.
All of our stuff, as well as those dance class informations, will be down below. And if you have any other video reaction requests or personality type guests that you want to see on the show, you can also comment down below. And if you made it this far, we'd definitely appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, that like button would mean a lot. And with that, make it a great day. Take it joyful and stay conscious. Awesome job, Jen.
Thank you.
You did great.
Yay.